Guys, hope you guys are doing well. Today we're going to be learning a trick called the Vanishing Card trick, and it's pretty cool, so stick around to watch it, and if you don't know how it's done, feel free to stick around for the tutorial. Alright, time for the actual trick. So you're just going to shuffle up the deck. It's a no setup trick, so that's a plus. And you tell your spectators to pick a card. Let's say they pick this one. Alright, I'm going to close my eyes for a second, take a look at it, memorize it. Alright, you guys see it? Okay, flip it back over. And we're going to slide it roughly in the middle. So now, we're just going to do a little bit of cuts. And we're going to shuffle up the deck. Some more shuffling. Yep. Whoops. Okay. So now what's going to happen is we're going to split the deck into two piles, and I'm going to ask the spectator to choose one. So pick a pile, let's say they pick this one, so we'll discard this one, and we'll use this one. So you're going to explain to the spectator that you think that their card is in this pile, and that they discarded the pile without their card in it. And you're going to say, you think that you know where the card is even more, and you think it's within the top 5 cards of this pile. So you're going to give these cards a little bit of a shuffle, and then so basically what we're gonna do next is we're gonna scroll through the cards, and if you see your card at the end, say stop. But not at your card, don't react to your card, otherwise I know what the card is. So we have the King of Hearts, we have the 7 of Spades, we have the 9 of Hearts, we have the 9 of Spades, and we have the Ace of Spades. So was your card in there? And you're probably gonna react yes. And so we're gonna put the rest of the cards on top of the deck, and we're just gonna remain on these 4 cards. So 5 cards. So, but if you give it a little bit of shake, surprisingly, there are only 4 cards left, and you'll find the one card that disappeared is your card. And if you give this magic deck a little bit of a shake as well, and you fan it out, you'll find there's one flipped over card, and that's going to be your card. So if you like this trick, stay around for the tutorial, and so we'll probably cut to the tutorial now. So alright, so I'm just going to go through the general plot line of the trick here, and then I'll go into any moves that you have to do in detail later on afterwards. And of course the classy helpful tips and tricks section as well. So the first selection and shuffle. The first shuffle is going to be legit, and it's going to be a completely shuffled deck. And their selection is not a force, it's a free choice. Let's say they choose the 8 of diamonds. So you're going to, once you get the 8 of diamonds, you're going to put it in the middle of the deck, and you're going to control it to the top. This can be by break, then you cut the deck. This can be by just controlling it to the top, or this can be by a pass or any other way controls you know to get the card to the top. And of course it's going to be face down in the trick. And once it's on the top, you're going to shuffle up the deck with a bunch of false shuffles. Okay, that was a mistake. Let's not talk about this. So it's still on top though. So now after it's shuffled, you're going to split the deck into 2 piles. And no matter which deck they choose, you're going to pick this one. If they choose this one, you're going to be like, we discard this one. And if they pick this one, you're going to be like, okay, we'll choose this one. Simple enough. No sleight of hand there. So the next part of this trick is going to be the 5 cards. You're going to take the 5 cards out, and when you're shuffling them, you know their card is on top. What you're going to want to do is you're going to put it second to the bottom. So that way when you flip it up, it's second on top. And then you flip them over, you say, react to if your card was in here after we've seen all 5 cards, not after. And so what you're actually going to be doing is you're going to pretend to be counting, and you're going to take the card at the bottom while you're counting. And most people don't even notice, and you've successfully slipped their card into the bottom of this. Then once they know it's in this pile, you can put this pile on top of this one, and you create the flipped over card. In terms of these, you can just give them a little bit of shake of a snap, and there are only 4 cards, and their card is no longer in there. Okay, so that was the general plot of the trick, and I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and just techniques on the moves. Alright, so the first trick, the first move that you're going to need to do is you need to do a force. So when you slide it in the middle, you can put it at a diagonal so that we can get a pinky break. You can also, slide the card in a diagonal same way, except instead of getting a pinky break, you're just going to take it with the other hand. You're going to cover up the cards a little bit, and then you're going to put it back on top. You can do that if you're feeling a little bit more advanced and you want to try something harder. But regardless, you just have to make sure it's on top, and then you can pretend to shuffle. Gives the audience a little bit of a break and making sure that it's shuffled. Them thinking that it's shuffled. So the next move is going to be the main part of the move. So when you have 5 cards, and you're going to, and when you're flipping through them, but you're actually taking 1 card out. So one way to practice this and to help you make it seem more natural is going to be when you're sliding, always come back. Don't just do this, because otherwise it's going to be really obvious when you slide the card at the bottom of the deck. But instead, go back every time, so that way it doesn't seem obvious. And sometimes when you pull it out, it can be a little bit outjogged. You just want to make sure you're squaring it away before you reveal it to the audience. And then you just, take out the rest of the cards. So that's going to be, for this trick, you're just going to make sure you're holding it with your thumb and your middle finger, sometimes your ring finger if you want, but just like applying a little bit of pressure so that way you can hold the deck. And when you're pulling it, you're going to want to pull it with your thumb. And when you're doing the grab, you're actually going to want to do it with these fingers too. So you're going to want them a little bit out, not like this, but instead more like this, so that way you can pick up the card as you come over. And that's that one helpful tip that I find really helpful. That was a lot of helpfuls, but okay. Hope you guys enjoyed the trick. If you guys have any questions or suggestions for new tricks, or even comments on this one, feel free to leave it in the comments. I'll take a look at it, and I'll do another trick tomorrow. So see you guys. Peace out.